Hi, this is Mary Ann Hughes, especially Fame Transitions, and I'm so excited to be here today at Gateway Academy. I just went on a tour and love to share about Gateway Academy and who they're for and what they do and how they can help you and your child. So I'd like want to introduce themselves.
I'm Michelle Joseph. I'm the head of school.
Bonnie Jones, Director of Admissions.
And we've been here for 19 years. I can't believe it's our 19th year, celebrating 20 next year. And we're serving kids 6th grade through young adults. And our primary focus is that academic piece, but also as important is the transition piece and getting kids employable. So that is what we do throughout everything that we're doing throughout the day.
And I would also add the social piece is really important as it factors into actually really both academics and the transition piece.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah, so who would you say would be a good candidate to go to Gateway?
So our website says social and learning differences, which is very wide encompassing, but a lot of our students high functioning on the autism spectrum, ADHD, anxiety, the different learning disabilities, dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, just students that really struggle to be successful in a traditional classroom environment.
Yeah, and need that extra small classroom size. We have anywhere from 6 to 8 kids in a class, and they work together as the teachers provide curriculum and extra resources to be sure that they're understanding the information and can demonstrate their knowledge. Part of our job is to employ people who can read the kid and understand, okay, he's not getting it, and that's not his fault, that's my fault. And so I, as a teacher, need to change and figure out what to do next, so that they can figure out what they need in the long run as well.
I would say our teachers have a vast variety of tools in their handbox that they can pull in from, and just also the multi-sensory learning is really important, coming at things from different angles, and unlike a lot of traditional environments, they're able to kind of pace themselves to the student and recognize, oh, they haven't gotten yet, and so we need to camp out here a little bit longer and make sure they have it before we move on.
One thing that struck me about the tour is about all the things you do for their emotional health and learning some great life skills and how you encourage each other. Do you want to talk about some of those examples of things that you do?
So we do have counselors on staff. There's a dedicated middle school counselor, a high school counselor, and a director of counseling who also works with our young adults. And so at least once a week they're having a mental wellness class where they're just really talking about, you know, all the different things, handling their emotions, as well as just in our current age, the social media piece and how that's changed everything else. Really what the kids need, you know, in a particular day. So that's a designated class. But they're also always available for just those teachable moments or opportunities. There's a breakdown in a relationship with some kids. How do they navigate that? How do they repair it? Those types of things are just constantly going on. And then we also have our social communication classes, which is really a cognitive approach to social learning. And so helping our students understand those very abstract concepts, like what does it mean to read a room and blend? What are the hidden rules in a situation? How do I figure those out? How do I, you know, really read emotions in someone else and do that perspective taking? And so that is kind of directly taught in a class, campus-wide, starting in 6th grade.
Then the other piece that's a thread throughout everything is, what are you going to do after Gateway? At the beginning, we were graduating students who took all the math courses they needed and all the academics, but still finding that the real world was hard, and making that transition just because you graduated from high school doesn't mean you're going to be successful. And so we started looking at these job internships and teaching these employment skills specifically. And so starting at 6th grade, they volunteer once a week, we take them, we make sure that we're out in the community and taking directions from someone else, learning how a different organization works. And when I say we're volunteering, we are doing the work. We are putting together hundreds of meals every week. We are doing all kinds of things, and they are busy for that whole time. So that's how we first initially introduce it. And then as they get older into high school, we start doing employment training and employment skills classes with internships as well. Juniors and seniors go off campus for half a day throughout the week and volunteer at some of our community partners like HEB and Cat's Coffee, Memorial Hermann,
Sheraton Hotel.
Sheraton Hotel. We have a retirement community, Mod Pizza. So they're working in places where a part-time job might be a realistic kind of thing, so that they can understand what that looks like too. And that's really, really important. That made the difference. In 2017, our graduates, 55% of them were actually moving on and doing something that came next, where the other 45% were just sitting on the couch. Now we've got it up to 95% of our graduates, when they leave here, are doing something towards meaningful work, either going to college, going to an additional learning program, or working. And that made a huge difference for parents especially, and for the kids for their lifetime.
Great. Excellent. Then you also have a young adult program.
We have a young adult program as well. Typically those were kids who didn't graduate from Gateway, although we have a few from Gateway who just need some extra time. But those who did go through programs, who did academics and don't know what to do next, this is the place to go. We've got kids who have actually gone through college and finished college and can't figure out the next step on getting the job. So it's all about getting a job. It's all about working together. It's all about that perspective taking, that counseling piece, knowing myself, and employment skills.
Great. Now, during our interview, we talked about some different college options and what tends to have more success for some of your students. Can you talk about some of those?
So I just mentioned we actually have a director of transition that works closely with both the student and the family to figure out next steps. And we do have students that go on to four-year universities. There's just so many different options in terms of learning supports versus, just accessing like the disabilities program and different things like that. And then a lot of our students aren't yet ready to live in a dorm and take 15 hours and navigate that whole campus piece, but they may be ready to take some classes at community college. And so just working out and figuring out what's best for them, or do they want to focus on an independent living program, or do they want to work? And so that is something that is intentionally broken down, and really we start talking about that sophomore year. And okay, we have a goal. This is your goal. This might be a dream goal, a reach goal, but these are all the things that need to happen if you want to go.
So all these sounds like great stepping stones for the next
Right.
next goal they may have to be
Yeah.
successful at the next juncture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're finding programs like University of Clear Lake that has a great program for our neurodiverse kids. It's really great, and it's just far enough that they can live in the dorm and mom and dad still can have some access to them. St. Thomas University, they've got their regular program, which is a great program for our kids who can do that college work, and then we've got the Pragmatics program who need a little bit extra help, and that makes a huge difference too. And then Lone Star Paths program, really a great program too. They've got their one track that's for the associate's degree, and then they've also got one that's specifically for career education.
It's great. There's also many options available afterwards, depending on where you are and what your needs are and what kind of supports you need.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So also we discussed about how a lot of people will come in grade 6 or 7, and then the next step maybe during high school. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So we do have a number of students that come to us from other specialty schools, and that 6th grade or 7th grade year is popular, as well as 9th grade. We also have a number of students that have really kind of held it in together in, say, elementary school, and started having those struggles getting 4th or 5th grade and thinking about navigating and switching classes and having a different teacher in every class and a much wider or a greater number of students, and find that they're ready for something more. And so we do get them in 6th grade and 9th grade from those settings as well. But we do have rolling admissions, just depending on our openings.
And then if your child is ready for admission somewhere else, if they're in 8th grade and we think there's a high school that will serve them better because they don't need as much of the help, because they are able to be a little more self-sufficient, we find that place for them too. We want to be sure that we're making sure that the kids get exactly what they need at the time they need it. I'm not in the business of just holding on to kids just for, I want
So
them.
who would be a good candidate for your program and who might not be?
So we really look at your ability to learn in a group. So if your greatest need is more social, emotional regulation, and you have a hard time being in a group, or students that is their number one focus, we're not the right setting. But if if you are ready to learn as a group and just need that smaller class size and the additional sports we have available, then I would say we're the right place.
And what does the admission process look like?
So the first step is really we encourage all our families to come in for a tour just to see the school for themselves, see the students that are going here, get a feel for that. And then if they feel like we're the right setting, the next step is to apply on our website.
And then they come in and do a
two shadow
days if we feel like after reading their paper that they might be a good fit for us. And you know, I want to be real clear that we are kind of the only high school who is serving these students and putting everything in one basket, as opposed to, okay, this is what you pay for academics. If you want to see a speech pathologist, you have to pay extra. If you want to see a counselor, you have to pay extra. We're just not doing that, and so our tuition is a little bit more for that reason, but it's really important that your child get all these things in one place so that it's all coordinated.
You're talking about some of the classes that are being offered by speech pathologists and counselors and so on. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So the social communication class is a class that they would attend 3 days a week, and so that is, like I said, run by a speech language pathologist. It's really group learning, just trying to figure out that very complicated social piece, breaking it down into smaller steps, helping our students really understand that. And then, as I mentioned before, they would see the counselor 1 day a week for a designated class, but she is also there across campus, at breaks, at lunch, seeing them in the classroom, talking with them as needed. I mean, our counselors, yeah.
They meet individually with them. They do a lot. And I think it's really important that in the social communication class also, it's about presenting yourself as well.
Right, how do you show
And that's
up?
a big piece of it. And so they have to do a lot of presentations, things like that. We walk them through how to do it, and they get so good at it as they graduate, and it's kind of amazing.
Great
to watch.
practical skills to carry into the future for sure.
And we have a big theater program. We have a basketball team. We have a track team. So we're really trying to be as well-rounded as possible with the small environment.
Yeah, you talked about the different physical activities in addition to the
Yeah.
teams that you guys
The
do,
Fit
and
Club.
different treadmills all around and,
Yeah.
and exercise bikes and all that. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that helps?
Well, just our mission when the school was founded in 2006 was just looking into how much exercise impacts the brain and gets it ready for learning. And so many of our students have not been successful in like a traditional PE class. So we do have these classes that are taught by our staff members. They're broken down into groups of similarly matched athletic ability. So that is really allowing us to meet students where they are. And so we rotate through a variety of different athletic opportunities. So we have spin bikes, we have mixed martial arts, we have yoga, we have walking groups that walk in different places around the bayou, we have traditional sports in the gym, so we have weight training. And so we're really able to teach those students those things, get their blood circulating, getting their brain ready for learning, and hopefully they'll attach to something that they can do lifelong and just find success in learning that skill. And then, as you mentioned, across campus we have places for students to, if they need it on their breaks, to hop onto the treadmill, to hop onto an elliptical machine and just help regulate themselves and be ready to learn in the classroom.
Great. And I love how you involve parents as well and have parent trainings.
We do, and so we have parent education several times a year on different opportunities that parents have identified as something that they would love to have more information about. We bring in speakers that are especially trained in those areas to talk with them about it, and then we also have a designated person on staff that is able to meet with the parents and find out what they need, what resources they need, work with them on maybe setting goals for their kids, managing homework, creating lists, I mean, whatever it is they are, she is a fabulous resource for them.
Great. And you do school tours for like people from different organizations to come in? And
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, the one that just left, she's starting a school in Austin, and I'm basically just handing her everything we have and saying, you know, these are the lessons I've learned, and this is how I would do it if I were to do it again. I'm really trying to give more people the opportunity to get services that are
so it's
needed.
great to spread the word and let people know that there are great programs like this that can serve diverse communities, that have social and learning differences, and this is a great place to develop that. So if people are interested, what's the website they should go to, or how should they contact you all?
It's www.thegatewayacademy.org is our website, and we would love to talk with you, schedule a tour.
713-659-7900.
There you go.
So come on out, let us know if you have any questions, and happy to help out.